$100 million. That's not annual revenue. That's not quarterly revenue. That's how much a single company added to its top line in just 1 month. And here's the part that will absolutely break your brain. They did it with 146 employees. Not 1,400. Not 14,000. 146 people. That means every single employee at this company is generating roughly $685,000 in revenue per month. Per person. Per month. The company is called Lovable. It's a Swedish vibe coding startup, and it just crossed $400 million in annual recurring revenue in February of this year. If you care about the future of software, the future of AI, or honestly just the future of how money is made in the 21st century, what I'm about to tell you is going to fundamentally change how you think about what's possible. Stay with me, because the story behind these numbers is even more staggering than the numbers themselves. Welcome back to World of AI, where we break down the most important developments in artificial intelligence so you can actually understand what's happening and why it matters. Today we are going entirely deep on one story. One company. One announcement. Because sometimes a single data point tells you more about where the entire world is heading than 100 headlines combined. Lovable, a company that many of you may have heard of and some of you may already be using, just reported that it added $100 million in annual recurring revenue in a single month. 1 month. February of this year. That pushed its total ARR past the $400 million mark. And the company did all of this with a team of just 146 employees. Now, I know numbers can sometimes feel abstract, so let me put this in perspective. There are publicly traded software companies with thousands of employees that would celebrate reaching $400 million in ARR after a decade. Lovable appears to have done it at a pace that makes traditional SaaS growth curves look like they're standing still. This isn't just a story about one company getting rich. This is a story about what AI-native businesses look like when they truly work. And I think understanding Lovable's trajectory is one of the most important things you can do right now if you're a developer, a founder, an investor, or honestly anyone who builds things on the internet. So let's get into it. To understand why this announcement is so seismic, you first need to understand what Lovable actually is and where it came from. Lovable is a vibe coding platform. Now, if that term is new to you, let me explain, because it's one of the most important concepts in the current AI landscape. Vibe coding is a way of building software where you describe what you want in plain language, in natural conversation, and an AI system generates the actual working code for you. You don't need to know React. You don't need to understand databases. You don't need to spend 4 years learning computer science. You describe the vibe of what you want, and the platform builds it. Lovable specifically focuses on helping people go from idea to deployed, functional web application as fast as possible. We're talking about full-stack applications with real backends, real databases, real authentication systems, and real user interfaces that actually look professional. This isn't about generating code snippets or helping you debug a single function. This is about generating entire products. The company is based in Sweden, and it emerged from the broader European AI ecosystem that has been quietly producing some of the most innovative companies in the world. The Swedish tech scene in particular has a long history of punching way above its weight. And Lovable fits perfectly into that tradition of lean, design-focused, ridiculously efficient Nordic companies. Now here's what makes the context even more important. Lovable didn't start at $400 million. Like every startup, it had to grow. But the speed of that growth is what defies conventional wisdom. The company reached the unicorn valuation milestone, meaning a valuation of over $1 billion. It earned the title of Vibe Coding Unicorn. And it did this not over a comfortable 10-year runway, but at a pace that has caught the attention of essentially the entire technology industry. The reason this matters so much is that Lovable represents a new category of company. It's not a traditional SaaS business that grows 15 or 20% year over year. It's not a consulting firm that scales linearly with headcount. It's something fundamentally different. It's an AI-native platform where the product itself is powered by artificial intelligence, meaning the marginal cost of serving each new customer is dramatically lower than it would be for a traditional software company. And that's the key to understanding everything that follows. When your product is AI doing the heavy lifting, you don't need to hire proportionally more people as you grow. You don't need armies of engineers maintaining code for each customer. The AI scales. The infrastructure scales. And the revenue scales with it. That's how you get to $100 million added in a single month with 146 people. Alright, let's dig into the actual numbers and what they mean, because the details here are genuinely extraordinary. In February of this year, Lovable crossed $400 million in annual recurring revenue. ARR, for those who might not be familiar, is the gold standard metric for subscription-based businesses. It takes your current monthly revenue and annualizes it, giving you a picture of what you'd earn over a full year if things stayed exactly the same. It's the number that investors, analysts, and the industry use to compare companies. Adding $100 million in ARR in a single month means that Lovable's monthly revenue run rate increased by over $8 million in just those 28 days of February. Think about that. In the time it takes most of us to barely get through our February to-do lists, this company added enough recurring revenue to fund a small country's technology budget. Now let's talk about the per-employee efficiency, because this is where the story gets truly unprecedented. With 146 employees and $400 million in ARR, Lovable is generating approximately $2.74 million in revenue per employee per year. Let me say that again. Nearly $2.75 million per employee per year. To give you a sense of how insane that is, many highly successful software companies celebrate when they hit $300,000 to $500,000 in revenue per employee. The very best companies in the world, the absolute elite performers, might reach $700,000 or even $1 million. Lovable is operating at nearly 3 times that upper ceiling. So how is this possible? How does a company with fewer people than you'd find in a medium-sized high school generate this kind of revenue? The answer lies in the nature of the product itself. Lovable's platform is fundamentally an AI system. When a user comes to Lovable and describes the application they want to build, the AI does the vast majority of the work. It generates the front-end code. It sets up the back-end infrastructure. It handles the database design. It creates responsive layouts. It implements authentication. It deploys the finished application. Each human employee at Lovable isn't building customer applications. They're building and improving the AI system that builds customer applications. That's the fundamental leverage. One engineer improving the AI model or the platform infrastructure isn't helping one customer. They're helping every single customer, past, present, and future. The improvements compound. The efficiency multiplies. And the product clearly resonates with users. You don't reach $400 million in ARR without massive adoption. People are using Lovable to build real applications. We're talking about startups using it to launch their MVPs in hours instead of months. Entrepreneurs using it to test business ideas over a weekend. Designers using it to bring their mockups to life without waiting for a developer. Internal teams using it to build tools that would have taken quarters to spec out and develop through traditional processes. The pricing model also plays a crucial role. Lovable operates on a subscription basis, which is what gives it that recurring revenue characteristic. Users pay monthly for access to the platform's AI capabilities. And because the AI can serve thousands of users simultaneously without linearly increasing costs, each new subscriber adds revenue at extremely high margins. This is the flywheel that makes the numbers make sense. More users means more revenue. More revenue means more investment in AI capabilities. Better AI capabilities means the product becomes more powerful and more attractive. More attractive product means more users. And the cycle accelerates. And February's $100 million addition suggests that flywheel isn't just spinning. It's accelerating. Because going from 300 to 400 million is a larger absolute jump than going from 200 to 300. The fact that these leaps are getting bigger, not smaller, tells you something profound about the demand curve for what Lovable is offering. So what does all of this actually mean? Not just for Lovable, but for the broader landscape of software development, AI businesses, and the future of work? Let's start with the most immediate implication. Lovable's numbers are proof of concept for an entirely new kind of company. We've been hearing for years that AI would create businesses that could scale to enormous revenue with tiny teams. People have theorized about it. Investors have bet on it. But Lovable is actually living it. 400 million in ARR. 146 people. This is not a projection or a pitch deck fantasy. These are reported numbers. This changes the calculus for every founder thinking about starting a company. The old model said you need to raise massive rounds of funding, hire hundreds of engineers, build slowly, and maybe reach profitability in 5 to 7 years. The Lovable model suggests that if your product is truly AI native, if AI is doing the core work and not just augmenting human work, you can reach scale that previously required thousands of employees with a fraction of the team. Now let's talk about what this means for the future of software development as a profession. This is where things get nuanced and honestly a little uncomfortable. Lovable's entire value proposition is that you don't need traditional developers to build applications. You just need to describe what you want. If that works at scale, and 400 million in ARR suggests it's working at scale, then the role of the traditional software developer will continue to evolve rapidly. This doesn't necessarily mean developers become obsolete. But it almost certainly means the bar changes. The most valuable developers will be the ones who can work at the level Lovable's internal team works at, building and training AI systems, optimizing infrastructure, pushing the boundaries of what AI can generate. The developers who primarily wrote standard application code, the kind of code that Lovable's AI can now produce, will need to adapt and move up the abstraction ladder. For users and customers, the implications are overwhelmingly positive. Software creation is becoming democratized at a speed that nobody predicted even 2 years ago. The barrier to building a web application used to be years of education, thousands of hours of practice, and significant financial investment. Lovable is compressing that barrier down to the ability to clearly describe what you want. This means more people will build more things. More ideas will get tested. More small businesses will have custom tools. More entrepreneurs will launch products. The creative bottleneck of not being able to code is dissolving in real time. For investors, Lovable's numbers are a signal flare. The AI native software creation space is not a niche. It's not a toy. It's a market capable of generating hundreds of millions in recurring revenue in an absurdly compressed timeframe. You can expect that the amount of capital flowing into this space will increase dramatically. Lovable has proven the model works, and where one company proves a model, capital rushes in to find and fund the next version. And here's perhaps the most profound implication of all. Lovable's revenue per employee ratio isn't just a fun statistic. It's a preview of what the economy looks like when AI is truly embedded in business operations. We are moving toward a world where a small team of incredibly talented people, armed with the right AI systems, can generate economic output that previously required organizations 100 times their size. That has implications for everything. For hiring. For education. For real estate, since you don't need massive office buildings for 146 people. For corporate structure. For income distribution. For what it means to build a career. Lovable isn't just a company with impressive revenue numbers. It's a glimpse into a fundamentally different economic reality that's arriving faster than most people realize. Alright, let's bring this home with 3 key takeaways from this incredible story. Number 1. Lovable has crossed $400 million in annual recurring revenue, adding $100 million in February alone. This is one of the fastest revenue ramps in the history of software, and it cements Lovable's position as a defining company of the AI era. Number 2. They did it with just 146 employees, achieving revenue per employee numbers that shatter every conventional benchmark. This proves that AI-native businesses can achieve scale and efficiency that was simply impossible before artificial intelligence reached its current capabilities. Number 3. The implications extend far beyond one company's balance sheet. Lovable's success signals a fundamental shift in how software is built, who builds it, and what kind of companies will dominate the next decade of the technology economy. The era of AI-native businesses isn't coming. Based on these numbers, it's already here. I want to hear from you. Are you already using Lovable? Have you built something with it? Or does this kind of AI-driven development make you nervous about the future? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one, and the conversations we have down there are honestly some of the best parts of this channel. If you found this breakdown valuable, smash that like button. It genuinely helps more people discover these videos. And if you're not already subscribed, now is the time. Subscribe to World of AI so you never miss the latest AI news. I'll see you in the next one.